Good afternoon to all. Thank you for joining as we have folks trickling in. We'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll get started. And while we're waiting for folks to come into the room, just an FYI, this will be recorded. So we just want to give you that advance warning. Give it just a couple more seconds. All right, well, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the California Jobs First Business Ready Sites Program webinar. We are discussing energy infrastructure essentials, powering up your site with PG&E. I am Jolia Jackson. I'm the Regional Engagement and Development Manager with the GO-Biz Regional Economic Development Initiatives team, and we're happy to have you today. This is our second session of our webinar series, How to Get a Site Ready. And this series is designed to help communities, developers, and local governments prepare sites for business investment by understanding key infrastructure requirements. So today's session, we are focusing on a very critical component of site readiness, which is energy infrastructure. And we are joined by Madeline Silva, Senior Director of Strategic Commercial Solutions and Economic Development from PG&E. So she will walk us through a little bit later how to bring electricity to your site, PG&E's application and planning process, strategies for accommodating future expansion and large electrical loads. And we're excited to dive into this topic and provide you with some practical tools and insights to move your projects forward. So for today's agenda, before we bring Madeline up, we are going to cover the Business Ready Sites program with a few reminders. We'll have Madeline discuss powering up your site with PG&E. We'll go into a Q&A and then share some support and resources. So the Business Ready Sites program, if you weren't able to attend some of our webinars, our previous webinars that we've hosted, this is a key initiative of the California Jobs First strategy led by our Ready and CalBiz teams. It is designed to proactively identify and elevate business-ready parcels across all 13 of California's economic regions. So we're focused on sites that are prime candidates for headquarters, research and development facilities, and advanced manufacturing. Projects that specifically drive industry development and job creation. So each site is evaluated using clear, consistent set of readiness criteria. And this essentially gives our CalBiz team the ability to respond quickly to business leads and to present a curated high-quality portfolio to site selectors, investors, and companies looking to grow and scale in California. So just a few reminders of our program. Entities that are allowed to submit sites are local governments, such as cities, counties, joint power authorities, and utility or community service districts with jurisdiction over those proposed parcels, and economic development organizations, so both local and regional including business improvement districts that are focused on promoting growth and investment. So we're aiming to highlight only the top 2 to 4 sites per region. Those that are truly investment ready and aligned with the California Jobs First priority sectors. Again, those are headquarters, research and development, and advanced manufacturing. This is where collaboration is key. We are counting on regional partners to help identify which sites really rise to the top. And so please, prior to submitting sites, if at all possible, reach out within your region and hopefully you can collaborate on which sites you would like to submit for your region. Okay, so another reminder is that we have a site submission checklist, and this checklist has been created to assist you with ensuring your site meets our program criteria. While we know that this is not necessarily a one size fit all, we kindly ask that that your site submission meets as much of the criteria as possible, and that you submit as much information about that site as possible. This really helps us to showcase the site and all of its qualities that it may have. And then also for those that aren't aware, again, this is a webinar series. This is our series, How to Get a Site Ready. And this series will go through February of next year. So each session is designed to dig a little deeper into the criteria and provide practical guidance. And we will share that link with you at this time in the chat. So our Business Ready Sites program is housed on our regional data tool. Here on the screen, you can scan the QR code to request an account. Once you submit your request, I will then need to actually activate your account. Please note that you'll receive an auto reply immediately following your request. Now, the auto reply is going to tell you that the account is active, but actually the account will not be active until I actually review and then activate the account. So please allow a little time once you submit your request, and know that I will be reviewing to make sure that you are eligible entity, and then I will go ahead and provide access. Okay, so now we're going to turn it over to our special guest this afternoon. We have Madeline Silva, Senior Director of Strategic Commercial Solutions and Economic Development, here with us today, and it's all yours.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, everyone. So I'm really excited to be partnering with GO-Biz on economic development efforts. PG&E, just as a way of background, I've been with them for about 18 years, but we've always really been order takers, or you have to go online, put in your submission for application for service, and then we'll get back to you. And there's not a lot of like consulting or iterative conversations going on until about the last 2 years, when we started seeing unprecedented growth and load demand, specifically in our Silicon Valley area, but really everywhere. And a lot of it has to do with AI and data center build out. And so we've set up a group that I lead that talks mostly to developers and those interested in connecting at those 50 kV voltages and above and getting more power to their sites. And everybody everywhere wants more power. So let's talk about how that applies to you in the site selection tool. So the site selection tool right now, as they're piloting it, PG&E is working with the team at GO-Biz to figure out how to pre-vet the sites that are already on the tool and give some reassurance that, PG&E has looked at these sites and there is, one, we confirm that we do serve them already, and two, confirm that there is availability for potential upgrades. And I know that that might not seem incredibly satisfying on the first glance, but I will tell you that um, just in the process of requesting more energy at a site, it does require a pretty significant engineering study. And really, I can walk you through that process, but really, what the main takeaway is like PG&E will always be able to serve the capacity that you request. It's just a matter of when, right? And so some upgrades may take longer than others, and I'll tell you why. So there's two components to kind of upgrading your site to serve more megawatts or kilowatt hours than you were initially planned. So let's say you're taking over, a commercial site and want to upgrade it to do either testing or data center usage. You'll need to, significantly ramp up the power capacity at that site. And in order to do so, there's kind of two parts, I would say. One is the customer, the developer, needs to make sure the site is ready and has the appropriate interconnection equipment to take on that extra capacity. And so that's one portion. And that's really, those timelines are really dictated by the customer themselves, and as fast as they can go, and then certain critical equipment, like getting critical equipment ordered, like transformers, and other things. The other upstream thing that may take a lot longer is PG&E's interconnecting into PG&E's larger grid and larger system. And that's what we call our capacity network. And we are flush with tons of network upgrades that we're working on right now to bring on almost 10 gigawatts of load into the state right now. We have never seen demand like this before, and we have 10 gigawatts of requested load in our pipeline. So right now we're working fast and furious to upgrade everything kind of on the upstream end to make sure that those electrons flow to the customers that need it. And so with that, those things take a while. They are a very involved process. They require siting and permitting and approval from a variety of regulatory agencies, including the California Independent System Operator that runs our transmission system, and the CPUC, our California Public Utilities Commission. So while we're working with all of those entities to make those fast tracked, it does take a couple of years, and maybe 2 to 3 years on certain sites, and maybe in more constrained areas, we are seeing some timelines out past 5 years. So just wanted to set everyone's expectations there. That's, again, if you're asking for power needs of over 20 megawatts, that's kind of what I'm speaking to. For anything below 20 megawatts, we, the normal process is just going onto PG&E site, your projects at pgne.com, and submitting an application, and then you will be assigned a project manager to follow up and review your application. Depending on the size of the load, if it's over 2 megawatts, it will go into kind of a special larger load group, and I can help with that and help you make sure that that's being tracked and monitored. And then if it's below 2 megawatts, it will go through our standard new business process, which we've vastly improved over the last few years. And then we'll go through, studying what it will take to serve your load, both on your site, like I said, and then upstream what PG&E needs to get done to upgrade the network to make sure that that capacity flows to the site. And we will provide those timelines with you for you in a preliminary engineering study plan. And the customer will sign off on approval that the plan looks good to them, and then we'll proceed with the various engineering deposits and more detailed engineering study. So that's in a nutshell how to like work with PG&E. But I will say that we are now, opening our doors to have more iterative conversations. You can feel free to reach out to me if you're looking to power up your site and have some just general questions, or if you have like several sites in mind and you want to see what kind of the order of magnitude speed to power is. We can tell you generally where there's more capacity available in our system and where it's faster to interconnect based on that. So yeah, going back to the site selection tool, we are going to be adding a filter to that eventually that says, PG&E's vetted this site. Please work with them to submit your application so we can talk details about what load you want to bring on, what load ramp you're thinking of, and how we can work together to serve you in the timelines that you need. So that's about it. I prefer to take questions and we can kind of get into a dialogue if there's something I'm not hitting on, but
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Madeline.
sure.
I appreciate you going over that process. I'm sure it will be valuable for our participants that are on the call. And so we'll open it up for questions at this time. If you have any questions, we can unmute you. And I'm not sure if there are any questions in the chat, but we'll be happy to unmute as well for questions.
Hi, Julia. This is Julie. No questions in the Q&A at this moment. Madeline, I had a question for you though.
Yes.
Um, just wanted to clarify. So when folks submit projects, does it have to be the project lead or like the property owner? I know that like a lot of EDOs, cities, counties, maybe not so much city and counties, but at least I've used to work in an EDO capacity.
Mhm, mhm.
If you're trying to help somebody navigate through that process,
Right.
can an EDO reach out on their behalf?
Yes, and that's kind of what the new services we're offering is working with EDOs or working with folks that don't quite have site control yet, where we have a load inquiry, which is a little bit of like a engineering study light, where they can ping us and say, hey, I'm looking to, bring 250 megawatts on in this area. Like, is there capacity available? And in that scenario, we're not asking anyone to have like official site control. The EDO can come to us, anybody can come to us, and we'll answer those questions. It's pretty much public information. We do have a tool on our website for the distribution network. It's a grip tool. It's called grip. If you type in PG&E grip tool, GRIP, that will show you the um, available capacity on our distribution network. But a lot of the loads I was talking about, if you're talking about anything above 20 megawatts, or industrial and data center wise, that information hasn't yet been put into a tool that's accessible to the public yet. But we can basically input your request and then extract that data and work with you.
Awesome. And I probably should clarify when I say EDO, I'm saying Economic Development Office or organization.
Yeah, right. I mean, anyone can ask me. I get questions from anyone, and I will ask them. I'll tell them generally because you know, we're not yet going into great nitty gritty details. They're just getting kind of an order of magnitude. What do I need to look out for? And oh, I just wanted to say one more thing I forgot to mention. Some things to look out for is when you get that information is that is your site, and we will tell you this, but the things you want to know, especially if you're connecting on the transmission network, is like how far away is your site from our existing transmission facilities? And so we'll give you where the nearest substation is, and if it's 9 miles or 2 miles away. And the reason that information is really important is because you're going to want to consider that in all of your planning, because transmission permitting, in terms of environmental permitting and getting easements and land rights for those facilities, is one of those long lead time items in our process of getting interconnected. So the shorter the distance between your site and a transmission facility, either a transmission line or a substation, existing substation, the better and easier your process will be, especially if you have land control between the facility and the transmission facility.
Thank you.
I see a question. I know you said you were going to read them, but I can read. I can.
Okay, go for it.
Rachel's question is, do we charge applicants for preliminary engineering study? Yes, for preliminary engineering study, which is the detailed study when you have your specific address and load ramps and want specifics. For the initial load inquiry, no, we do not charge for that. So I hope that answers your question, Rachel. Do you want to, are you, okay, that got it. Okay, are there maps of currently well-serviced areas with capacity? Yes, GRIP tool, GRIP. Edward is the name of the tool. And that should give you a sense, but I would say, like, if you don't have an electrical engineering hat on, some of the information might be confusing. So please feel free to reach out and we can decipher some of that for you. And then Ricardo. Our city has a substation with, and we're trying to check, how would we find out how much capacity? You could email me, and I put my email and my name. Ricardo, if you want to know how much capacity that substation has and availability, happy to work with you. I'll put my email in the chat also, Ricardo. And we can talk about what city that is and the substation and what looks possible. You're welcome.
And just so you all know, we've added to the chat the GRIP tool, so you can find it there.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Yeah, so again, that GRIP tool gives you what's available on the distribution network. And so that's if you're looking for below 50 kV or below probably a 20 megawatt load. Usually 20 megawatts load is where we make the decision of whether we're going to serve it on transmission or distribution, transmission being those 230 kV lines, 115 kV lines. And so that's where we make that distinction. Usually if you're around that kind of cutoff mark, your preliminary engineering study will provide two options, one of like how to serve you on transmission, one to serve you on distribution, and see what's faster. But again, the GRIP tool only shows distribution available capacity, and you can work with me on transmission level available capacity at transmission substations.
Awesome. If there's anyone who wants to ask a question live, we're happy to unmute you, and you can, put a note in the chat or the Q&A, and we can unmute you. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any other questions popping up, or, oh, wait, we have something.
Oh, you know what? Did you're
Yeah,
right.
it's in
I
the
sent
chat.
it. No, you know what? I sent it to, can you copy it? I can't send, I sent it to
Oh,
you,
let's see.
the hosts.
Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see if I can
I'm putting
put
it in
it
Q&A
to
too.
everyone.
There. Yeah. Okay. Now everyone can see it. Sorry. Good call, Ricardo. Thank you. Yeah. I look forward to talking to you and anyone who wants to kind of suss things out, see, what can be done in your area. And if I'm not the right person, I can definitely get you to the right person. But again, this is could substations be added to the prospector tool? I don't know. I'm not familiar. Is that the same as your site selector
Yes,
tool?
that would be
Oh.
our site ready tool.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why don't we explore that?
Yeah, it's something definitely to explore, and we can, talk about if that's something that we can add. Thanks for the tip.
Thank you, Edwin.
Any other questions? We have time, people. Oh, you're welcome, Edward. Happy that you've joined us. Okay, well, what we'll do is I'll just remind everyone about some of the support and resources that we have available at this time. Remember that we are offering one-on-one technical assistance if you have any questions or need help with account request or site submission. Happy to meet with you one-on-one and we can get you going. We do have our regional data tool available at no cost. And we have a business ready sites program guide and account registration guide. I've sent out some of that information to those who participated in our office hours a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully you have that information, but if not, we will follow up with you and share that again. Also the business ready site submission checklist, FAQ, and don't forget about our office hours coming up next week. And we will run those also through February just to give you an opportunity to ask questions and share any information or updates with you all. And then we are recording all of our office hours and webinars, and that information is available as well. So thank you so much. It looks like there's another question in the chat. So Edward, oh, there you are.
Yes, there is a lot of chatter about microgrids. We have lots of ideas on that and we can work with you. I think microgrids can be either your backup solution for backup power should you need it. A lot of these labs and data centers want backup power, so they want to make sure that they're islanded and aren't, haven't a significant backup power solution. So we can talk about what that looks like. We do have microgrid pilots throughout our service territory. But yeah, there are again unique situations that we want to probably discuss with you. I can't speak to them broadly, like microgrids for all. So, but they do make sense in certain situations for sure. And that's really, I mean, what a microgrid is basically taking on-site generation, like a solar, and then pairing it with a battery. A lot of homes do this now with their electric vehicle, and you're islanding your power supply basically off the grid. So if PG&E's grid for some reason goes down, you will have sufficient backup power to run your business separately. And that's what like the smallest version of a microgrid can be. In terms of spreading that out across larger acreage and property. We can talk about that and what that solution looks like for you.
Nice.
That was a great explanation. Appreciate that.
Okay, any other final questions or thoughts before we close out for today?
Looks like, is there something in chat? Nope. I would just say, before you leave, you might want to check out the chat. There's some good links in there if you want to cut and paste them or save them on your bookmarks.
Yeah, thanks, Julie, for pointing that out. We do have links to the webinar series and the recordings that are in the chat, also to the grip tool, and make sure you grab Madeline's email information so you can catch up with her if you have any questions. Okay, well, I think that will be it for today. We appreciate your time and joining us, and thank you so much. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care, everybody.